Hello, guys, welcome to the second episode of Talk with Arjun. I have been meeting various people and learning from their interests and experiences, but till now I haven't met anyone such as Vaishnavi Dwivedi because of her keen interest towards the well being for the society, for the student community basically. One of her best interests are artificial intelligence, machine learning, and sustainable development, which tends towards the overall innovation for the society. She is a very hardworking girl and very focused towards chasing her goals. In this whole podcast, I have been talking about these very topics, so I would request you to watch the full podcast and tell in the comments which was the best moments in the podcast. So watch the full podcast. So hello Vaishnavi, welcome to the second episode of Talk with Arjun. And first I will give a brief introduction about you. So I think so that you are a very professional by nature and also an awesome designer. And as far as I've studied you on different websites and other stuff, you're a great app developer. And personally, the UI of nimblebox.ai is very awesome. So, uh, welcome to the episode. So, now I would like to request what I have missed. You can introduce yourself in a best way.
All right. Thank you so much, Arjun, for having me. Like, it's been a great journey for the past, I think, 3 years since I entered college. And as you mentioned, that I am a designer and an app developer, and I've tried my hands on every single thing there is. So I joined Nebulbox just on 1st July, so I have not done much
Okay.
there
Okay.
yet.
Okay. Okay.
But in any case, like I have been working at many startups like for the past 3 years, and like Bottle is one of them. Like they are the startup that I've been working for almost 1 year, and it's
Yeah.
been a
Yeah.
great journey there.
Yeah.
And like there are a lot of there are a lot of things that I've done. Like there are a lot of things that I've explored throughout the different college years. And I've dipped my toes into machine learning, deep learning, and app development, web development, product management, every single thing that I could possibly explore. But obviously, I'm not the best person in anything. I've tried to own my like design skills much better than anything else, because that is something that I'm intrinsically good at. Things that you're born with, sort of. So it's been a great journey of sort of self exploration in the field of technology, and I hope to help other people do the same as a part of Michi Spotlight, which is the community experience that I've been designing. Basically, like it's like a newsletter, and I've also started a YouTube channel just like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and like we also have a Discord server, so like we have a lot of great people there. If you want to
Okay.
chat with anyone, or get any feedback on let's say the projects that you've done or the designs that you've made, you can just feel free to ping me or anyone over there. So yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that's sort of it.
Okay. So next question is there. What is a DSC?
Okay. So a DSC is a developer student club, and since the past year, it has been rebranded to GDSC, which is Google Developer Student Club. And
Okay.
it has been a great journey to become a DSC lead. So basically, like DSC is the flagship program of Google, and they select campus like they select leaders from different campuses from across the world, from different countries and different campuses from every country. So there are about like 12,000 DSC leads from across the world in the past year. And
Okay.
I recently graduated as a DSC lead. So basically, there's a very rigorous interview process to become a DSC lead. You have to create a video of yourself, and you have to upload it on, not just on YouTube, but like you can unlist that as well. But that's not important. But you have to make a video of yourself. You have to fill up some information about yourself. The You need to at least know some. You need to at least have some technical expertise at some point. Like you need to know, let's say, a bit of some programming language. At least you need to be proficient with something. At least have built some projects, like not many projects, but at least like one really good project. And yeah, like that way. And you should also have like the passion to help other people. That is the most important, because you can be the best developer out there, but in order for you to be a leader in a tech community, you need to have the passion to help other people, because it becomes very stressful at times, especially in the remote world. And if you really have that passion to help other people, it won't get difficult at any point, and you will just enjoy doing what you do. So yeah, that is what a DSC is. And like I think this year's applications are already closed, and people are still awaiting results. And if you need any help to sort of understand how to set up a DSC as a first timer, like there are a lot of DSCs who are already established in different colleges, but there are some colleges that never have had DSCs, but some great individuals from those colleges have taken it upon themselves to introduce these clubs in their colleges as well. And to give the students in their college an opportunity to get exposed to Google opportunities, like the opportunities provided by Google. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested, I mean, you can like definitely apply next year if you haven't already. But if you have applied and you do get selected, then you can reach out to me if you want, and I'll help you out there. So yeah.
Okay, okay. No, actually, before you, I didn't know about the DSC. I didn't know anything. Not about the GitHub expert, also campus expert. Not about GDSC, nothing. So, okay. So, what benefits you are getting after becoming a DSC lead?
Right. So, I mean, apart from getting a leadership experience, and like, so the first thing that everybody thinks that they get when they become a DSC lead is like, oh, I have that Google tag on my LinkedIn profile, so now I am like an amazing person. That's actually not true, because you can be Google DSC lead all you want, but if you don't showcase it to the community, if you don't showcase your the things that you've done, if you don't put yourself out there and make yourself more credible as a leader, as a technical leader, people won't obviously believe you at all. Like they might think, हाँ यार ऐसे ही बन गया. I don't know this person. But yeah, like there are so many DSC leads in our country and in the world as well. But there are only like a few of them who do exemplary work. There are a lot of them, like everybody tries to do something or the other in their own communities, but some of them just like think that, okay, I've already gotten this tag, so let me just like rest now, and I don't care about anyone else. My resume is short because I have this particular opportunity. I was selected by Google, so it's a huge thing, right? So I don't need to really work upon it. But it won't matter, because it's not the tag that is the most valuable thing that you get out of being a DSC lead. It's the community experience. It's sort of the passion to help other people, and it's also the will to like help people understand technology in a way that they can use technology at their disposal to create good products, to create innovative solutions to problems that we might not even have thought of. Right? So people face problems every single day, but if you give them the tools to build something, and if you teach them how to do it, that's the best thing that you can do to anyone. And I mean, as a student, especially if you're getting this opportunity, you can leverage it in so many ways, because you get to connect with amazing people from across India. Like the most rewarding thing that I got in my journey as a DSC lead was that I got to meet so many other DSC leads as well.
Hmm.
I had the chance to collaborate with them for
Hmm.
events. I had the chance to learn from them when they hosted certain events, and like there were a lot of things, and you don't necessarily have to know every single thing. Like, I mean, you don't need to know every single thing from machine learning to designing to everything. You can call in other people from other places, and you can ask them to host workshops. So it also helps you sort of delegate tasks, as in, just to be a good leader, you
Hmm.
need to know what tasks you should do yourself and what tasks
Hmm.
you want to delegate to other people. So it helps you become a better leader as well. So that is also one of the things that I personally got out of this program, and I struggled with delegation. And I just want to do everything on my own.
Hmm.
I mean, if you go to DSC RAITs, which is like my DSC's name, DSC
Okay, okay,
RAIT,
okay.
if you go to their page on Instagram, if you see some of the posts, like most of the posts, majority of the posts are made by me, because
Okay.
I didn't delegate those tasks to other people. But then
Hmm.
eventually I started learning to, give away those tasks,
Hmm.
started trusting other people to make good
Hmm. Hmm.
designs and not tarnish the brand that I'm
Hmm.
trying to establish here.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, that is sort of the thing that you learn as well.
Hmm.
And you learn community work, you learn collaboration, and these are the things that will help you once you go out there in the industry as well,
Hmm.
and you will
Hmm.
be able to collaborate with other people as well. So yeah, I mean, those are some really good benefits that you get out of this program.
As you got a 13,000 followers, around 13,000 followers on LinkedIn, so you are now a pretty much, I mean, LinkedIn expert. So I think that you can guide us that what are the basic features or the important or exclusive features on LinkedIn which a student can use to get a job from LinkedIn.
All right. Yeah, I mean, for LinkedIn, I think the best way to go is to optimize your own profile. Like, when you're sort of seeking internships, what happens is that when you apply via LinkedIn, there's this thing called Easy Apply, and what happens is that usually companies use this as a way to increase their own followers, because there's this button at the bottom saying that you will follow automatically follow the company once you easy apply. So that's a thing. Like, I mean, you should be wary of those things. Like, easy apply is not the best way to sort of go ahead, and like you shouldn't apply to internships in bulk. Instead, what you can do is to sort of like, just to uh just one sec. Yeah, just to like don't apply to internships in bulk, and try to optimize your profile. So before you start applying, or before you do things like that, focus on your profile, focus on your cover picture, your profile picture, if it's professional or not, your description, your about section, basically the bio that you're putting out. So I mean, if you put important information in a proper format, then you will be able to attract people on their own. So I mean, I have been on LinkedIn since 2016, and I've never really like done any, like, applied to any internship via LinkedIn. Like, I have applied to internships, but I never got any updates on those internships, because I mean, most of them, half of them were like, they were sort of spammy or scam kind of things. So I mean, that also happens, and that happens to a lot of students. So I mean, what I usually tell students is to focus on their own profile, and once you do that, recruiters will reach you directly. And I've never really applied to any internships, but whichever internships that I've gotten via LinkedIn, all of them have been like via the person, who is recruiting, like directly via the person who's recruiting. So yeah, I mean, I applied to this internship. Like, I applied to LinkedIn, on
Okay.
LinkedIn, for an internship. And like, yeah, I mean, that was also sort of in a similar way there. So I mean, like I didn't really apply to it, but I got these offers from different places because people saw my profile and they were like impressed by the content that I put out, or the way that I presented my profile, the way that I described my experiences. So like I put in all the metrics, all the impacts that I made in forms of figures and numbers. So those things are very important for you to do. I have written a guide to optimize your LinkedIn profile on Michi Spotlight's newsletter. So yeah, I mean, you can like go and check it out if you want to improve your profile.
So when I was watching your profile on LinkedIn to find out what should I ask, so a thought came up to my mind that, oh yeah, she's a girl. I mean, I think so many have hobbies to read books, some have the hobbies to watch films or movies, but she is a girl that her hobbies are to learn new skills. I mean, so many skills and so many skills. So what makes you so focused on learning these skills and uh, basically the technical skills, because many of the students leave coding while learning in the first month of coding. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, like the first thing to be like, this was something that I was thinking about this morning as well. Like why people try something and then they find that thing difficult, and they just think that this is not meant for them. See, the thing is that for everyone the learning curve of anything is different. So for me, designing might have come easy for me, but for someone else it might be like very difficult, and they might take more time to learn it, and they might take some time to get a hang of it, right? So it really depends on you as a person, the kind of experiences that you've had, the kind of things that you've already learned, the kind of environments that you've been exposed to, the kind of talents that you've had. So like if you were an artist in school, you might be good at design now. If you were a mathematician in school, you might be good at machine learning. You might have gotten a hang of machine learning very quickly, and you would have learned the concepts very quickly as well. So it really depends on you as a person, on how much time you will take to learn something. And for me, see, like the reason why I like learning new things is because I want to equip myself with as much knowledge as possible, so that I don't have to rely on other people to do something. That is something that I've always believed that if ever I want to build a personal project which also requires me to design something and deploy a machine learning model, so I should be able to do it on my own. Even though obviously if I work in as a part of a team, it will be much more optimal, and I'll be able to get much more insights, and like I would be able to build a much better project. But the thing is that what happens is that sometimes you just don't get a team, and that shouldn't hold you back from learning new things. That shouldn't hold you back from doing something, right? Because there are a lot of people who are like ki, if you want to go outside, so you want to call your friends and then you want to go outside, right? You don't want to go alone. So that's the sort of a thing that I am okay with. Like I can do things on my own, and I want to do things on my own. I want to be equipped with everything that I possibly can. So I obviously not everything. So like there are some things that I'm not particularly interested in. I find them interesting, but I would want someone else to probably help me out with those things as well. Something like cybersecurity that I've found interesting like at some points in my life, but I never really dived. Like I've sat in many webinars for cybersecurity in our college as well, but I never found it particularly interesting for my own interests. So yeah, I mean, I have explored many things, and like if you're learning how to code, and if you like when you start learning how to code, just write down a few things. First of all, why do you want to learn how to code? Like not just for coding, this is for anything that you're starting to learn. So like if you're starting something, just ask yourself why you're doing this. Is it because someone else is also doing this, and now I also want to do it? Because if that's the reason, you will give up very easily whenever you face your first obstacle. But if you're doing it as something that you are passionate about yourself, then obviously like it's much better to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're genuinely passionate about things, you should pursue them. You should pursue those things only. And if you are like, if you're not passionate about something, like, it's not just about passion, but it's also about, why you're trying to learn something. So that is very easy to understand. Like, that is not very easy to understand initially,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just figure things out,
Mm.
and yeah, just build along the way.
Okay. So, so as you have been working on different startups, so what is the mindset of a person when he works on a startup or is building a startup?
Right. So yeah, I mean, so see, like, the thing is that when you're building a startup, there are a lot of things going on, and like, if you're building a startup to make money, that's literally the worst reason why anyone can why anyone would want to build a startup, because you don't do this for the money, you do it for innovation, you do it to build something new, you do it to just go into something and like explore it in as much detail as possible. So like, if you have an idea and you want to build it out, you have to think through a lot of things. Like, these days on Twitter there's this trend of startup idea, like, startup idea, Shark Tank Coaching Institute. This is something by, I think, Shreyans, who is like one of my Twitter friends. So,
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people have been just throwing around startup ideas just like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But, and there are a lot of people who are like complaining that why aren't we working on these startup ideas, like different
Mm-hmm.
types of tweets. So, I mean, that gives you sort of a sense that, coming up with startup ideas is obviously very easy, and like, not very easy, but it's convenient to do. Like, you can still do it. But once you have that idea, and in order to go and pursue it and implement it and execute it, build a team around it, inspire people, motivate people to join your vision, and rally teams behind your vision, that is very, very difficult. And unless you have the stomach to do it, you shouldn't do it. Like, just, I would say that, I am not an entrepreneur, or so, like, I'm not an entrepreneur by nature, because I like being a leader and all of those things. But the thing that I like the most is to work as a part of a team. Because, when people are like, when there are certain people who are taking care of logistics, and, I just have to do my work, and whatever it is that, like, it's not about taking initiative, but it's more about doing that logistical work, like finding people and doing this, that. There's a lot of people work as well that we need to do as entrepreneurs. And like, if I ever embark on that journey on my own, I would do it for an idea that I really feel has the potential to go that way. And till now, obviously, I haven't gotten any of such ideas in my head till now. But yeah, like, being a founder, it's very difficult from what I have seen. Like, I've worked at many, many startups, and I've seen founders in those startups. Some of them, like, get so stressed out that they start micromanaging people, which is like really, really difficult for employees like me, because I like, like, when you work at a startup, you get ownership of certain things that you are doing. So when, like, in my startup at Bottle, I'm working on a podcast, so I have
Okay.
that ownership of that podcast, because I'm the host. I choose who gets to come on the podcast, I choose the topics as well, I choose the formats as well. So if something happens, if something good happens with the podcast, that's my responsibility, and if something bad happens, that's on me. I can't blame it on anyone else. If I'm taking the credit, I have to take the blame as well. So you get that sense of ownership as when you're working at a startup. And as a student, I would definitely recommend you to at least have one experience working at a startup,
A
because
startup. Yeah.
you can go to a corporate, you'll work at a little feature that like if you go to Google also, like obviously working at Google is amazing and all that,
Hmm. Hmm.
but when you go to Google, you will be working on one product's one small
Hmm.
feature. So if you go
Hmm.
to the Google Maps team, you will just be working on, let's say optimizing the restaurants near you feature. So I
Hmm.
mean that is like a very very small part of the whole ecosystem. For some people that might be enough, that might be enough satisfaction, but for
Hmm.
me, and like for many people who embark on the journey of startups and all of those things, it really it's really about this that sense, getting that sense of ownership. So yeah, I feel that every student should try to experience working at a startup at least once in their student life.
Okay. So actually, there are very high amount of startups going on in India, and uh, according to a survey, 90% of the startups fail. So, do you think why it is? I mean, uh, everyone has a unique idea, and every entrepreneur works for his or her idea, but many of them fail. What is the reason behind it?
I don't know, honestly. Like,
Okay.
maybe startups fail, startups succeed. But I know this for a fact that if you want, like, just because of this metric, stating that 90% of the startups fail doesn't mean that you shouldn't even try. Like, if you want to, because I mean there are startups, there are examples of so many startups in India itself, where people are doing such great jobs, and like there are so many inspiring entrepreneurs in India, who have been doing great work in the startup ecosystem. So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen with your idea. It might fail, it might succeed, but it depends on it depends on your own journey. You can't compare it to the general metrics because you might be different, your idea might be different, the way you execute it might also be different. So if you have a team, if you like, there are several ways of starting up. Like usually, it could be like through a VC, like VC funded start. There are VC funded startups, there are bootstrap startups. So I've worked mostly at bootstrap startups, but I have also, like, now I'm also working at a VC funded startup. So I mean, both of them have a different sort of a scenarios, different sort of a environment. Some of them have like very high pressure environments, some of them are going on their own pace and trying to build the best product that they can. So it really depends on your own journey, the way you build your teams, the way you inspire other people, the way you market your product. There are so many factors that come into play when it comes to startups. When it comes to whether a startup will succeed or will it fail or something. So you can never really really say that okay, this, if it's gonna fail or if it's gonna succeed. Even the dumbest idea can succeed if it's properly marketed, if it's properly implemented. So yeah, I mean, yeah, like it really depends.
So, what is the startup bottle about? I mean, can you explain? Yeah.
Right. So, Bottle is a startup that I've been working at for the past 1 year. And so, like in May 2020, I started as an intern, as a Flutter intern. So, because I was into mobile application development back then. And I started as that. I did a 2 month internship, and we really liked what I did with the product. And like we were four interns. We were like
Okay.
initially picked to build the product, and all four of us had a really great time and we really bonded with them. And by far it has been the best sort of experience for me personally, as a student, as a, as a person, as an individual. It has been a very rewarding experience working at Bottle. I'll tell you, I'll get to what it is about,
Okay. Okay.
but I just want to sort of
Hmm.
focus more on the experience as well, because I mean this is what an ideal startup experience looks like.
Hmm.
Because the founders, there were like initially there were five founders, but now, like right now, there are four founders at Bottle. And I mean, they are literally the best managers that I've ever met, because I have worked at many startups, and at every startup, like, there were certain, there were people who were either too aggressive or too assertive, or like, being assertive is all right, but too micromanagerial, or they just wanted to get a lot of value out of their money. But at Bottle, I was given the chance to explore, what I want to learn and what I want to do and what makes me happy. And it also helped me sort of understand different industrial processes like agile development, and we did a lot of different iterations of the product as well. Like, we changed the tech stack a couple of times, but it was rewarding because we got to know how to sort of build production level applications. And I was able to do those things in a very happy place, in a very peaceful way. And Bottle, essentially, as a startup, we're building, like, we're a B2B facing startup, which is like business facing. Our customers are basically businesses. Like, not yet, but like, we yet to launch. We are still in our internal testing phase. So we are a collaboration tool, and it's basically like, a less, like, a very simplistic Slack, I would say. Slack for WhatsApp users, if that is a good way to explain it. So, like, how WhatsApp is, very simple to use for communication. Everybody loves WhatsApp. Everybody, even our parents, can use WhatsApp because it's that easy to use. So we have just made WhatsApp a little bit more powerful, actually a lot more powerful, and for, the professional space. So, and we have a lot of ways in which you can track metrics. You can understand how to, like, you can understand what exactly it is that your employees want. You can build a nice work culture using the product, and you can increase the productivity among your employees using the product. And it's essentially targeted at small startups for now, because we want to test our hypothesis, how it works and everything. And yeah, the reason why we came up with this solution was because there were a lot of users who found Slack very complicated. Slack and Discord and all the current communication platforms that are there, they found it very difficult to use. And like, a lot of people faced a lot of UI and user experience issues. So we just wanted to work on something like that. And yeah, we are here, and we're very close to our launch. So yeah, I'm very excited to share that product that we've been working for over a year. So yeah.
Okay. So let's put this in this way. If you have to introduce yourself in a way, in a word or in a line, how will you introduce yourself?
Mm, uh, I don't know, honestly. Like, yeah, I would introduce myself like this. I don't know.
Okay.
uh, how about no, or something, like, usually I do that. But yeah, I'm just kidding. Like, if I had to introduce myself, I would just say that, everything that I do is for the environment. Like, I know that might sound cliche, but everything, not everything, but like, most of the things that I do is for the environment. And yeah, I'm an environmentalist at heart, and whatever, like, got into machine learning and artificial intelligence because I wanted to build some solutions around climate change. And yeah, for designing, like, design was something that, like, I caught my eye because there are a lot of posters and a lot of doodles that I made for climate awareness and environmental stuff. So yeah, I owe it to the nature, and I'm in love with the environment, basically, and I want to do something about it. Obviously, it's very difficult to do as an individual, and I've been building applications and I've been working on different projects to help do that. And yeah, like that is, I mean, I know that that might be like not something that you might be looking for,
Hmm.
but honestly it's very difficult to describe yourself in like one word. But if you would ask me to describe myself in one word, I would say versatile. Yeah, like
Okay.
I am quite versatile. I can do many things. I can be your designer, I can be a web developer, I can be a
Hmm.
Flutter developer, I can be anything. I mean, you just have to like just tell me the use case, just tell me the project, and I'll just build
Okay.
it. Like I'll just build it looking at the documentation. So
Documentation.
yeah, I mean, uh, and yeah, I mean, like I think I use this line on my LinkedIn profile. So you can also like if I had to describe myself in one line, I could just say jack of all trades and master of a couple or
Hmm.
two or more. I don't know.
Okay.
So
So.
yeah, I mean that is sort of the general idea here, because I'm more of a generalist, and
Hmm.
I would like to be a generalist more than a specialist, because I mean, I want to be obviously good at least one or two things, like really, really good at something. Obviously, if you're not really good at something, I mean, it might be difficult for you to survive. But yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, once you're a generalist, you can do a lot of things. So yeah, I mean, that's sort of the goal here.
Okay. Okay. So, what is Michi Spotlight?
All right. So, Michi Spotlight is sort of a community experience. Like, I think I mentioned this before as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, like, Michi Spotlight is a community experience that I've been building. So, it's more of like it started off as a newsletter, and it is still a newsletter, obviously. Like, I've been writing newsletters for, so I think the first newsletter I put out on 27th March.
Okay.
And since then, every week I put out newsletters for students to read to sort of get
Hmm.
some advice. So there are a lot of students who don't want to reach out to people, who are a little shy, and maybe they are
Hmm.
not that confident to
Hmm.
go out and ask, okay, Vaishnavi, tell me what this is and help me with this
Hmm.
problem, and I'm
Hmm.
not able to concentrate, or I'm
Hmm.
procrastinating a lot, or how should
Hmm.
I use my time, how should I
Hmm.
become a better developer, how should
Hmm.
I, a lot of things.
Hmm.
So for them, for those kind of, because
Hmm.
I was one of those people when I was in
Hmm.
first year, I did not have any mentor,
Hmm.
I did not
Hmm.
have anyone to go to and
Hmm.
ask questions, right?
Okay.
So so yeah, I mean that was essentially the reason why I wanted to start something like this,
Hmm.
wherein I can just help people to
Hmm.
understand the different things, different
Hmm.
aspects of the tech industry, and to allow them to explore different fields of computing in a much better way. So yeah, like just to sort of show them that okay, these are the options available for you in the tech industry. There's not just, like, people usually think that I'll just have to do DSA and that's it, and I can be a software engineer at Google and that's the end of
Hmm.
it. But
Hmm.
there's a lot more than that available out
Hmm.
there, and then the people who are not able to do DSA, and who are
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
able to crack interviews, they get
Hmm.
very paranoid that okay, what should I
Oh.
do with my career now?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
do I cope up with this?
Hmm.
Like what else is there? So
Hmm.
but there's a lot of things that are available. Like
Hmm.
there's
Hmm.
UX, there's UI, there is graphic designing. I mean, these are just like a
Yeah. Yeah.
various variants of designing only. But there's cyber security, there's
Hmm.
machine learning, there's motion designing. There's
Designing.
so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
so many different types of designing itself.
Hmm.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
UI UX designing, there's UX writer, UX researcher, motion designer, interaction designer, so many different kinds of things that just design has. And that's a
Yeah.
huge part of the tech industry as well. And if you go into that field, you can go anywhere around that. And then if you want to go into artificial intelligence, even that has so many different categories. There's NLP, there's GANs, or there is machine learning, data science, or data analytics, or yeah, I mean, there's so many things, product analytics. So I mean, it's just that students are not aware of the different opportunities that are already there in the tech ecosystem, and I just want them to be aware of those things, explore what their options are, try to understand what exactly it is that they would be able to do properly. I mean, they shouldn't follow someone. Like, apart from the newsletters, there's also a YouTube channel where I want to call upon different people to sort of talk about these jobs and talk about the opportunities that are available that they are currently working as a part of, so that people can, like, obviously whatever I say doesn't matter that much. Like, I am also a student, and it doesn't matter what I say as a student, but someone who's already experienced those things and who's already working in that role would be able to provide a better insight into these things. So yeah, I mean, that is the goal. And we also have a Discord server where you can sort of interact with other developers, you can network, you can understand stuff, and like, it's a small community right now, and I want to, like, make sure that everybody is getting the best experience out of it. So yeah, I mean, that is sort of the goal of Michi Spotlight.
How you came up with the word Michi?
Right. So, Michi actually means path in Japanese, and spotlight is to just to show the path, like put the spotlight on the path that any student would wanna take in the tech ecosystem. Because the thing is that there's this thing that provide me with a roadmap to being a web developer or being a software engineer at Google or some big company, right? So usually people are asking for like straight map to a certain place, but that's not it, because life is not straight, life is not linear, life is not similar to the other person, right? If you want to end up at Google, or any other company for that matter, you have to take your own path. You can't just go the similar way that other person went. But like, the thing is that we also need to understand that there is not just one destination meant for you. You need to identify where you want to go as well, and like, that destination might keep changing in between, and it's all right, and you need to understand that it's all right. Because in at least in the Indian culture, in the Indian ecosystem, like in Indian society, is like, you should think about your future, where will you see yourself from 5 years from now, and all that kind of stuff that you need to take care of. But honestly, I mean, some people change their jobs at 40. If you watch Friends, Chandler changed his job later on in his life. He from a transponster, he became like a I don't know, like some marketer kind of a guy, right? So I mean, that is totally upon us, the things that interest us and the things that we explore going along the way, and the things that we discover going along the way. So the earlier you discover, the earlier you will be able to pursue it, right? So I mean, that is sort of the goal of Michi Spotlight here, and that is what we're trying to establish. And yeah, I mean, hence the name. So yeah, like, it was sort of thoughtful around those things. So yeah.
The name is really very awesome. So, what is a GitHub Campus expert?
Okay.
Hmm.
So, so like, GitHub Campus Experts is a program by GitHub, as we know. Like, initially we talked about DSC. It is something similar to DSC, but this is a flagship program by GitHub. And in this program, you, like, in order for you to get selected as a GitHub Campus Expert, you have to, like, I think there are two cohorts every year. The one is in February, one is in August. I think they've revamped the system of accepting experts a lot, like, over the years. So I mean, basically, you have to submit an application, then in the next stage you have to like, submit an application video. So if you want, you can check out the Michi Spotlight's YouTube channel to see my video, like my application video. I have put it up so that, if anyone needs any reference, or if anyone needs to understand that, okay, how do I even go about recording a video? So, I mean, you can use that as a reference. So, yeah, I mean, you do that. And then if they find you, that if they think that you're a good leader, you'll be able to influence people, you'll be able to encourage people to pursue coding at your campus, as well as, outside or in your community, whatever community that you're building. So if you can do that, they'll select you and they'll train you a little bit, not a little bit, actually very rigorously. They train you, they train you about things like, how to be more inclusive in your communities, how to make sure that everybody feels included, how to make sure that how to sort of prepare your community to survive even after you've like graduated, or if you got a job and you can no longer lead a community. So how to equip other people, like people who are your juniors, to sort of equip themselves and take the mantle and take charge of the community. So, and there are a lot of things: how to structure workshops, how to be a good public speaker, how to structure your talks. So those kind of things also we were given a training for. And there were amazing videos by GitHub, and like there were good instructors who talked about these things. So, and then we had to complete certain assignments, and then once the training is done, we are onboarded as GitHub Campus experts. So, I mean, we just, as leaders, we encourage people to learn coding in general, not just on GitHub, but like just in general. Just we wanted to promote open source, and open source as well as coding, as well as software development, those kind of things. So basically anything in the technical ecosystem. And we are encouraged to organize many events throughout the year, throughout our tenure as a GitHub Campus experts. And we do that like in with like we can collaborate with other GitHub Campus experts. We can just have our own event, or we can just help other people to sort of get benefits from GitHub. So like for us to like organize events, GitHub provides us with like things, every like swags and other stuff that we will need to incentivize the events a little bit. So yeah, I mean, they help us in every single way to become good leaders in communities. And yeah, I mean, that is a really great program if you want to improve yourself as a leader in the community. So yeah, it's like I totally recommend people to apply in August, like next month. I think the applications will open again. So yeah.
So, as we were talking about Google DSC and GitHub Campus Expert Program, so how do they help you in building a good resume? Are they really that beneficial in a resume or not?
Okay. So it
Hmm.
really depends. Uh, like, I mean, it honestly it depends, because if if I want to be a software developer and I put these two in my resume, it's fine only. Like, uh, being a but the only thing is that these programs are for more for building the community leaders of tomorrow. Like, once there are so many community related roles at different big companies, like developer advocacy, developer relations, and then I mean, yeah, like these kind of things, like program managers who sort of like people at GitHub who manage us all GitHub Campus experts. So basically there are a lot of communities that you can go ahead and lead through these programs, because you've already participated in these programs. So I mean, they provide you with the platform to collaborate with other communities and like just build your personality. So I just feel that uh, like it's not about what it does for your resume, but it's more about what it does for you as a person. So it helps you develop your own personality, your speaking skills, your leadership qualities, and like I said initially about GDSC as well, that there were so many perks attached to it for me as a person, as a student. It provided me with a good learning experience as a developer as well, to collaborate with different people and build good projects, lead more communities, and lead people basically. So if you are applying to something that requires those things as a skill, obviously it will help you on your resume. If you put this on your resume, it will definitely help you. But if you're applying to something which might not require you to be a leader, or it might not require you to help other people, obviously that is like literally, you know, I mean, it's not about the designation in itself. Like, obviously, it's just a campus ambassador program. You don't need to know how to code to become a GitHub Campus expert. All you need is the passion to help other people and the willingness to learn and then teach other people as well, if possible. If not teach, then just hold workshops and get other speakers, get mentors, and like just give everybody a platform to learn and collaborate with each other. So I mean, you are sort of an enabler in that scenario. So as a person, it definitely develops you, and at the end of the day, it will definitely help you as well on your resume, on your portfolio, on your LinkedIn, everywhere. And personally, it has given me a lot of opportunities to speak at different events, which in turn, what happens is that it gives me the opportunity to like just be a better person myself. And it gives me like people, when people look at me doing these things, they are able to sort of like they are able to get a sense of what kind of person I am and what kind of developer I am. So it is easier for them to trust me, and to trust me to do a good job at their company if they hire me, if they end up hiring me. So yeah.
So, as we are talking about the resume, so can you give some tips about how to build a good resume to get jobs in the top-notch companies?
Right. So first of all, though, I've never really gotten a job at the topmost companies, so I don't know. But like I have applied to like companies like LinkedIn, Myntra, Flipkart, and these kind of companies. Like, but obviously, like they had DSC and all of that, all of those things, and like honestly, I sort of didn't want to sort of pursue that path, because I just thought that maybe I want to do something different, something more creative in that sense. So yeah, like I just wanted to like I wanted to work at companies which don't necessarily hire via DSA, because I have seen this. I mean, I think I've written a lot about these incidents as well, but there are a lot of people who are trying to copy their way through these entrance examinations, and I get very like paranoid that okay, I don't want to do this malpractices. I don't want to do these malpractices, and like if I don't, then I won't even like get selected or anything. So it will just like end up like it will just end up me like making me more like demotivated, I suppose. So I don't want to do that, right? I want to sort of boost my motivation as a student. I want to explore as much as possible. So it really depends. So now, if you want to build a resume, what you can do for that is, first of all, I've written a lot of guides for building a resume. Like I've built a lot of doodles around it as well. A very easy way to understand how to build a good resume. But the one tip that I give to every single person who asks me this question is that, like, don't have just one resume. Like, if you just have one resume and that's it, then you won't be able to explore a lot in your life. So for me, like I've done so many things. Like I've done marketing as well. I've done machine learning. I've done software engineering. I've done design. Now, if I'm applying for a design internship, I can't including my machine learning experience doesn't make sense, but it is a part of what I've done, right? But it's on my LinkedIn, so it doesn't matter. LinkedIn is my extended resume, or my portfolio website is my extended resume, where everyone can see whatever things that I have done. But if I'm applying to a UX internship or a UI or like a designer internship, then it makes more sense for me to include the experiences that I've had as a designer, right? So for that, you need to make different resumes for different job roles, and this should be different for every company as well. So whenever you're applying to a new company, don't just like go ahead and submit your resume without even thinking without even giving another thought. See, if you don't care about getting into a good company, if you don't want to do hard work to get into a good company, if you just want to get shortcuts, obviously that won't get you anywhere. So if you want to do something great, if you want to achieve great things in life, you have to ensure that you are you are doing the part, you're doing your part as an applicant. So you're researching the job description, you're trying to find out the keywords that are there, so that you can use those keywords in your resume as well, that is indicating that okay, I am suitable for this particular job that you've put out. Usually job descriptions can be a little bit generic, but they help nevertheless. Okay, so I would recommend to tailor your resume according to the job that you're applying to, according to the internship that you're applying to, and also tailor it according to, let's say, your whatever role that you're applying to as well. So if you're applying to machine learning, don't include your design experiences. So try to explore as much as possible so that you can apply to different internship roles as well, right. So if you're just doing machine learning also, if you're just doing machine learning, or if you're just doing something like that, uh, you should obviously just apply to those roles. Obviously that's how it works, right? But like if you've also done other things like a campus ambassador program and that kind of stuff, you don't necessarily need to include those things in your resume, because it's a one page document and you need to include the absolutely important information that you want, that is relevant to the roles that you want to apply to. And like obviously not everyone is interested in like doing too many things, like learning too many things and things like that. But I would recommend you to explore as much as possible so that you can understand which role you want to apply to in internships. So I mean, I've done internships as a mobile application developer, I've done internships as a machine learning engineer. So it doesn't matter where I end up, right? I have something for everything. So I've really tried to explore each of these domains. So you can also try doing that by having like different resumes for different things. So yeah, like that's what I'd recommend. And yeah, also read the resume guide that I've written. Like I've written 2 guides till now. So yeah, I mean, you can check that out on my newsletter. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, being a DSC lead, GDSC lead is a unique thing. So, how do you came to know about that? What research do you did? And I think most of your work is research based, and your research is a very good quality of yours. So, can you tell about that?
Right. So research comes with curiosity, right? And especially it also comes with the passion to, do things. And also sometimes it also comes from jealousy. I know that that might sound thoda sa weird, but it is true. Like there are people who are doing much better than I am, and I want to do better than them, right? And I want to uh, I want to get gooder kya, better opportunities, right? I want to get better opportunities. I want to get better stuff that nobody is able to find, and I just want to sneak in and get there. That was my mentality in first year. Okay, like I was like, I want to get the best opportunities. ऐसा तो मतलब I want the best opportunities. Everybody else can go and fend for themselves. I don't care about them. But then that initially that was okay. Like that worked out all right for me. But but as in when I like went throughout the years, the one thing that has happened is that when I share opportunities, when I share my research with other people, it really helps me to understand. Researching about different opportunities should end up in, let's say, sharing about them as well, so that other people can also discover them. So what happens when you do that is that, like, then more and more people get to know about different things. I know that it might lead to a lot more competition that you were expecting, but then what is even the use of, like, achieving something if there's no competition for you? Like, if there's no competition, then theek hai, matlab, like that. Then, because when you mention your accomplishments on your resume, you should always include how much competition there actually was. So if you stood first, how many participants were there? Were there five participants, or were there 200 participants? So it really depends on the kind of a competition that you emerge through when you're like talking about your accomplishments as well. But keeping that aside, I just feel that if you want to do research, you can like be more active on LinkedIn. Try to network with people. Don't pester them via DMs. Like, don't just be like, tell me about opportunities or something. Like, if you DM me that, I will, like, I don't know, I won't reply to you. Like, I won't say anything because I'm a nice person. But like, if you do that with someone else, they might just, get annoyed, and like, they would also probably ignore you only because on LinkedIn nobody wants to have a bad name or anything. So they won't actually show that they are annoyed at you, but they will be. So what I would recommend you instead is that try to follow different people who share opportunities. Like, I share opportunities. There are a lot of people, like there's someone called Sakshi Rambia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name properly, but she is the founder of Scholarship Track, and she shares a lot of opportunities. She shares a lot of templates with which you can approach people. So I mean, those are the kind of things, like those are the kind of people you want to follow on LinkedIn, rather than good morning, good afternoon, or some copy pasted content on LinkedIn. Or like, not good morning, good afternoon, but like, I'm happier to announce that this happened, and I am so glad that this happened to me, and you can just like go cry in a corner because I am the one who achieved it, and you can just cry now. So that's why I always try to not put achievements. I try to, like, whenever I apply to something, I post it on LinkedIn immediately, because I want other people also to know about it. I've already applied, right? So abhi theek hai, like everybody else can also apply. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm so confident in my own skills that I know for a fact that even if hundreds of people apply after seeing my post, I can still emerge victorious for that. And even if I don't, and someone else from my network is able to do that, I am very, very proud of them. Because, see, like, opportunities come and go, but for you, that opportunity might have not meant that much. But for someone else, it might have meant, like, it might have changed the trajectory of their career. Right, and that has actually happened to me. Like, there was a Udacity scholarship that we wanted to do, and I had already won a scholarship before once, so it didn't really matter to me that much, but I still applied, and I still shared about it to different people, because it didn't mean that much to me. Like, obviously it will mean a lot to me if I am able to get it, but I mean, it could mean a lot more to someone else as compared to what it would mean to me when I get it, because I already have a nano degree which I got from Udacity. So I mean, if someone else could also get that, they can get an edge over on their resume. They can, like, and they will get that sense of confidence that, okay, see, I got this scholarship, so now I am confident enough in myself, right? So it can really help people to understand their own strengths and weaknesses, right? So and like be more confident in themselves. So that's essentially what the whole point of sharing resources is, and I really recommend you to do that. But if in case you're not able to find anything and you just have to research about these things, you can like see the best way to do this is obviously via people. You can also join some telegram groups that are there. You can join discord server communities. There are a lot of coding communities. If you want, I can like do a LinkedIn post on this, and like I'll just mention all the discord communities that are there, and I'll just include the links to all of those communities. Because there are a lot of them. There's Eddie Hub, there's Code for Causes. Code for Cause also has their own community. There is developer student community. There is Codex Script. There's a lot of communities. There's Michi Spotlight, right? So I mean, you get all of these. Like you can just join these servers, and these community, like the community leaders, use these platforms to share opportunities there. So you can just get opportunities from these platforms itself. And I have like these platforms have been a major source of inspiration for a lot of people. So and they really help some people to get there. And honestly for me, like you asked me how I got the GDSC wala opportunity. I already knew about it in first year because there was a failed DSC before me. It was not exactly failed, but like they just like they went very dormant before my batch. And like I don't before my batch nahi, but like before I joined college in first year. So when I went to third year, someone reminded me of it because they were like, I looked like someone just texted me saying that, this is an opportunity for students in third year. So you can definitely apply to this because your profile is really good and you can apply to this. So, I mean, that is honestly, if you ask me, it is very ridiculous because it rarely happens to people that someone is telling, like someone is texting them individually and telling them about opportunities. But that can happen to you if you have that much of a good profile. And it doesn't, like you don't necessarily have to have like a lot of good internships to do that. When I was in second year, I did not have as many internships that I have right now. And I mean, I just did every, like whatever I did, I tried to present it on my profile in a way that it is like really good, even if it was like all right ish. So that is also an art to do, like the way you present your information, the things that you would have done in that particular internship. Maybe it might not be that impressive at first, but if you read about it, if you explain it in detail, people will find it very very inspiring, and they will think that you are capable of certain opportunities, and they'll share it with you. Or they'll just if not share it with you, you will be, when you apply to these opportunities, the person who is trying to like, because now these days everybody looks at your LinkedIn profile also before like selecting you for anything. So when they look at your LinkedIn profile, they'll also be like, okay, this person really has that credibility, that this person is really worth it, and they can go for, like they can definitely, they're a worthy uh, 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 person to get acceptance into this program or that scholarship or whatever the opportunity is. So yeah, I mean, all in all, always try to build your LinkedIn profile and keep it as like, optimize it, keep updating it. Don't just like sit on it once and that's it. You have to keep updating it as and when you go. And yeah, like you can also use this website called resumeworded.com to score your LinkedIn profile, just to see where you can improve. So they use AI and all to sort of understand where you lack in your profile, and they will tell you how exactly to fix it. And I did that for my profile, and since then I've been getting a lot of comments that I share your LinkedIn profile with people just to show them how a good LinkedIn profile should look like. And that is so flattering. That is like, arey wow, and that's very nice. I'm like, yeah, whatever, but then obviously it feels very nice, right, when people do that. So that can happen with you as well if you work on your, if you give some time to your profile every single month, or every sort of quarter, or not quarter, but like every 2 weeks, you can just look over your profile and see how you can improve it. So yeah, like that's my suggestion here.
So we have reached the end of the podcast. Any final messages for our audience?
Right. So, I mean, like as students, try to explore as much as you can. Don't hold yourself back and just go ahead. Like, I'll just share this one thing with you that I've known about so many opportunities since my 12th standard, like because I was like I wanted to go abroad, so I used to do a lot of research into opportunities. I used to Google opportunities for students, okay, and I didn't get anything, but there were a lot of things that did hop up. I used to go to the third page of Google, like when you scroll to the bottom and there's Google, and then there are like different page ranks and there's pagination and all that kind of stuff. Went till the page 3 and used to find different opportunities, and that way I got to know about Google Summer of Code, Grace Hopper's conference, which is for girls usually, and there are so many opportunities I got to know about in my 12th grade itself. But would you even believe that I have never even applied to those opportunities till now? I am in fourth year now, and I haven't applied to any of those opportunities yet. The reason being because I always thought that maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not prepared, maybe there's so many better people than me and they can do so much better than me, and I don't want to see a rejection email, and I'm just really scared of those things. And that is true, and that happened to me, and that happens to every single person. But the people who have that courage to apply, that they have the people who have that self confidence, who are confident enough in their own selves and their own skills, that no matter the result, we want to at least try before giving up, or we want to at least try before anything. We won't just like think that okay, we'll get rejected anyway, so let's not even apply. So I mean, when you apply, you know that you don't have that regret in your head. Right now I have this regret. Maybe I could have been I could have done GSOC and I would have been on another level today. Like people would have been like, "Arey, wow, nice GSOC and all," but uh, but that didn't happen, right? Because I didn't have like my personal brand. The like how much hard I worked for my personal brand, I wouldn't have had to work that hard, because I would have had these credentials and things, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm a G soccer, or I'm a GHC scholar, or those kind of things. So I didn't have to do like a bajillion internships to prove my worth or something, right? So I mean, those are sort of the like those are not easy to get by. Like it's not easy to get into GSOC. There's a lot of hard work involved, but uh, just take that chance, okay? Like apply, always apply to an opportunity. Never think that you're not good enough. Never ever think that maybe next year, maybe tomorrow, maybe whenever. Stop procrastinating and start applying to things. When whatever opportunity you get, even if it's like something that you don't even want to do, just apply to it. You never know what it might end up being and what it might end up doing for your own career. So you don't know what's best for you as a student. So just like and as an Indian student, you won't even get that many opportunities. Like there are many opportunities out there, but it's so difficult to discover them all. So if you are able to discover something, don't waste it, just apply to it. So yeah, those are my final words. So yeah, not fine, I mean,
Yeah,
I will live. Okay, but yeah, like those are
okay.
my words. So yeah, like final thoughts.
So thank you very much, Vaishnavi Dwivedi, and I hope we will meet again soon. I have lot
Definitely.
more questions for you, and we will definitely do a podcast again. So
Yeah,
thank you very much.
definitely.
So thank you guys very much for watching the full podcast till here, and please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below the things which can improve in the next podcast. So we will definitely meet in the next podcast now. So bye.